Welcome back to Bluebonnet News, Headlines and Heartlines. I'm your host, Vanessa Brazier, owner and publisher of Bluebonnet News of Texas. This is our series of conversations with candidates seeking public office, giving voters a chance to hear directly from the people asking for their vote. Today, my guest is Terry Thain, a Republican candidate for U.S. Congressional District number 9 of Texas. That includes Liberty County and Eastern Harris County, and it's a new congressional district. Terry is from the Tarkington area, and he plans to explain to us what he brings to this campaign season. Mm-hmm. Thank you for joining me, Terry.
Oh,
you want to introduce yourself to everyone?
Yeah, my name's Terry Thain. I'm a local person in this area. I live in Cleveland. I graduated from Tarkington. My wife graduated from Cleveland. My young life, when I was raised by my grandparents, were in Crosby. Okay, and I went to Crosby up to the end of the 8th grade. My grandpa retired from Armco Steel and sold a place that we had land in Tarkington that we moved to. So I ended up finishing up. I wasn't a stranger to this place. My stepdad was born and raised in Kennefic.
Yeah.
So I've been around Kennefic, Dayton, Tarkington my whole life.
So you graduated from Tarkington?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what did you do for the first years of your life for a profession?
Well, I went in the Army straight out of high school.
Uh-huh.
I ended up being a combat infantryman. Then after that, I did a series of industrial maintenance, ship channel stuff, working shutdowns, pipe fitting, welding. I worked for Union Tank Car several times. And I drove a truck. So my stepdad did. I always knew how to, and I had my license. So I've done a little of everything, just try to make a living. So.
Yeah. And what is your wife's name?
Kimberly.
Okay, and y'all live in Tarkington. Okay.
She graduated from Cleveland.
She graduated from Cleveland. Yeah. So what led you to run for this congressional seat?
Well, politics has always interested me. Most of the time when I'm at home, mm-hmm. I'm watching either Hannity or something, and I've studied the way government actually works since I was a kid. The best grades I ever got was Mr. Simpson's government class that you had to have to graduate. And it's always interested me. I've always had opinions on it. And people ask me questions about it. My late daughter, she always said, well, you ought to run. Well, there was never really an opening. Mm-hmm. And then when they created this new district, I threw it out to some people, I ought to run for that. They said, oh, yeah, you ought to run. So here we are.
Why do you believe you're the right person for this job?
I could give a common, working man's perspective on this. And I do believe the way this district is constructed, there's people in, say, Liberty County that drive to Deer Park, Channelview, LaPorte to work every day. I did it for years, okay? And we know that area, and we know this area. Somebody that's just from Deer Park or somewhere down there, they know that area, but they have no idea what Liberty County is about. They have no idea how the people think or what they really want and what they need.
So if you're elected, what would your top priorities be for your first term?
Well, my top priorities is one, to try to get Congress to pass a budget for the first time since 1996. They passed the budget in 1996 for fiscal year 1997.
It's always a deficit budget, right?
Yeah, and they passed a budget. And since then, it's been the continuing resolutions, which come up about 4 times a year. So you have 4 extra times to have a government shutdown.
This last one was a humdinger, wasn't it?
Yes. And plus, how are you supposed to cut spending when you don't open your budget up? You get to go line by line and go through and approve. I mean, the original budget comes from the Office of Budget Management, which is actually the executive branch. And then it comes to Congress and then the committee. And
now we're finding out that they spent $9 billion or so with Somalian immigrants.
Well, if you don't have a budget and you don't audit.
How do you know where the money goes?
Where you have,
right.
Yes.
Well, many voters feel disconnected from Washington and they're frustrated with career politicians, as you and I both know. How would you work to stay accountable and accessible to your constituents here in Liberty County and Harris County?
Well, I know a lot of people, so I have a lot of people, and people in this area, they're pretty blunt. They will tell you if they're happy with you or not happy with you. Like I said, I've been in this district my entire life, and I know too many people to not be accountable. I have too many people that have my personal phone number. So, but I plan on, like all congressional members do, they have their local offices, and I plan on being in my district when I'm not in Washington in session.
Yeah, you're going to be home as much as possible.
Yes.
I'm sure your wife will appreciate that.
Yeah.
As a Republican candidate, how do your values shape your approach to governing, and how do you plan to work with the people who may not share those same views? Because it's pretty contentious in Washington right now.
Well, I would characterize myself as a constitutional conservative. Okay, I believe the Constitution says what it says and means what it says, and it's the most perfect thing that's ever been came up with. Nothing's perfect, but I'm willing to talk with anybody. I've had to in my work life and everything. People that just totally disagree with you. But if you could find some kind of common ground and work off of that.
Yeah. Otherwise, how do you get anything resolved?
Yeah, I mean,
everybody just stays like mired down on their own side, and then they won't find any common ground. It seems like
I have a plan that should be an easy bipartisan thing to get started with, and that's to actually. Sorry about that.
We had a conversation about turning off phones.
Yeah. But anyway, I have a plan to actually to shore up the Social Security system.
Oh, well, that's a good one.
Okay. Over the years,
Yeah.
it started with LBJ, but it came in later. They have been borrowing from the Social Security Trust Fund forever.
Yeah.
They never paid any of it back.
Yeah.
So the first new revenue that the U.S. government has come up with in the last, I don't know how long, is the tariff revenue. If we could do a new budget and earmark the tariff revenue.
Or at least part of it.
Last year they spent $1.37 billion or trillion dollars on Social Security. If you could get $500 billion, because the estimates are 350 to 6, wherever it comes in. But if you could put that in the Social Security Trust Fund, it will help kick it past the boomer generation and my generation, Generation X.
That's my generation.
And the generations are getting smaller. So that will help shore it up until we get to such a time where
it can be a little more self-sustaining.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're not going to solve it, but it will take that burden off the general budget.
And probably get rid of allay some fears for people that are approaching that age. I'm a few years away, but I still would like for it to be there when I get there.
Absolutely. We've paid for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The average person, if they took every bit of your Social Security money, took out of your check and put it in a regular savings account, you'd have $3.1 million on average.
Yeah. Well, the economy is a top concern for many families. There's been rising prices. It started, I guess, in the last administration, and it's continued on, and some prices have come down, like gas and things like that, but others haven't. What steps do you believe Congress should take to help everyday Americans with the rising cost of living?
Well, it's the same way that's going to help attack the deficit. Okay, we can't tax our way out of this. It would be too oppressive and just kill everything. You have to expand the economy, so you expand your tax base, and that means bringing in better jobs. Okay, if people have better jobs, higher pay, then the prices equal out. But it's very important that just like the tariffs are bringing companies back to the United States, and we don't need any more $10, $15 an hour jobs.
No, we need higher paying jobs.
But that also comes with a price that we need to put shop classes back at school.
Oh, yeah.
And things like that, so people have the skills to actually come out.
Yeah, not everybody's going to go to college. It's not meant for everybody.
No.
And we need all those other professions to make the world go round.
Oh, yeah.
In my opinion, so.
The people that can do it are getting paid well right now.
Right. So how would you balance party loyalty with the specific needs in your district if those priorities ever conflict?
Well, if they conflict, my loyalty's to the district. This is where I live. This is where I'm from. These are the people that basically, when they vote for you, they hire you to do this. Mm-hmm. So those priorities come first. Party loyalty comes second. You could agree on a party agenda and things like that, but I'm not going to do anything that's going to hurt my district.
Yeah.
It's got to be district first because, like they say, all politics are local.
Yeah.
So it's the people here, and I'm one of them. I'm nothing special. I'm a regular working guy from this area. I'm nothing special other than the fact that I've took an interest in government, and now I was crazy enough to run for office. So.
Yeah. So, the congressional district that you would represent if you were elected is very diverse. We have a lot of rural people in the community, then we have an urban area, we have an industrial area. How do you plan to represent such a diverse district effectively?
Well, my background's in transportation, industrial maintenance, things like that. So I understand the chemical plants and the refineries and all that. I've worked in them, done shutdowns. I know I have family in Deer Park. I have a little bit of family in LaPorte. I have, so I know the area well. Worked out of it a long time. And, of course, living out here, I understand what it is to get up at 3:30 in the morning to take off at 5 and, drive an hour to work and all that. So it's, like I said, I think it's easier for somebody that lives here to represent the whole district because it is diverse than it is for somebody that lives there to try to represent
to try to
us.
understand the rural
try
area.
to understand us, yes.
So how do you define conservative leadership, and how would that definition guide your decisions in Congress?
Well, I'm more of a limited government guy. Government can't solve all the problems. I don't care what anybody says. They can't. A lot of times, like Ronald Reagan said, government, it's not to solve the problem, but government is the problem. Conservative values. I mean, I'm glad to see the Department of Education go away because ever since it came in the Carter administration, our test scores as a nation has went down and down and down. So if it's not working, so get rid of it and start over. And go back to the states.
So you believe in state rights?
Yes, I believe in state rights. I believe in states. Government was always intended to be a help to the state governments.
And anyone who's traveled knows that the states are so vastly different. They're similar in some ways, but you travel from here to Vermont or Boston, Massachusetts, and place like that, and just everything's different about the way they do things.
Just take yesterday. I drove in from Florida. I left Florida yesterday and drove all the way home. So I crossed Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana back into Texas, and even those states.
They're more similar than some of the ones up
north. They are
north.
a lot similar, and when I served in the Army, I had people from all over.
Yeah.
And you would think it's crazy the way some of these people think, and then you get to understand it a little more. But, like I said, this is a local first, the district first, Texas second, nationwide third, depending on the subject.
Yeah.
If it's about national defense, of course it's national. It's...
Because everything becomes... that's... So national politics often overshadow the local concerns, which is what you just mentioned. How would you ensure that the voices in the district, in District 9, are not lost in the broader national debates?
Well, the broader national debates, if we're talking energy policy, of course that affects our district.
Mm-hmm. And that affects everybody.
Yeah, that would affect everybody. If we're talking about trying to get a project done, say eventually, like there's going to have to be a loop around Dayton.
Yes.
I mean, and those come in.
And some federal money might be needed,
Yes,
but it's also a state
federal highway
issue.
funds would come into that, along with the state. Mm-hmm. And I would try to work towards. Texas is what's known as a donor state. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is old stuff
because of our economy. We have
I read this a long time ago, so this is kind of old news. But for every dollar we send to the federal government, the state of Texas receives about 60 cents back.
And other states benefit
Other states
from us.
get like $1.40, $1.50.
Yeah.
So we've been a donor state for the last 40 years.
We're very blessed, though, to be Texans.
We are, yes.
So I'm very thankful to be able to live in Texas. How do you view the role of compromise in Congress, especially in a time of strong political division?
Well, there's a common purpose, or at least there's supposed to be.
Should be
A common purpose that we want. As far as if I was a congressman, you're up there to try to make policy to help people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because of our financial restraints and the debt, things have to be prioritized.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you may have somebody that totally disagrees you on one subject, but if you can come to bear on one subject, then you can work towards the other. Right now, they're not working with each other at all.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that feel disenfranchised from both parties right now.
Yeah.
And so what would you do to convince them that you're the right person to send? Because there may be people that don't relate to Republican and don't relate to Democrat and don't relate to Libertarian, but they just don't know. How would you appeal to them as voters?
God, I thought I shut that off.
Well, yeah.
I'll settle. There we go. No. But anyway, no, but you have to appeal to everybody. Like I said, it's the representatives, just like that word says, you're representing an area.
Yeah.
So you come with that first.
Yeah.
And I don't care how different some of the states are. You have some of the same problems.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to work on.
Like immigration. Everyone's
Yes.
dealing with immigration.
Everybody.
But some states are getting hit harder. Texas has been hit pretty hard.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've always been, since we've been we're the Republic of Texas.
Yeah.
There's a difference in just say the Hispanic population.
Yeah.
We have Tejanos.
Yeah.
Tejanos are Texans.
Yeah.
They always have been. And it hurts everybody to let everybody in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do I think it should take 10 years for somebody to want to immigrate? No. With the modern technology we have, we should be able to vet somebody. You could do a background check in 15 minutes.
But even so, would you say that we don't need to it shouldn't be a free-for-all, it should be skilled workers and people that have something to offer?
Well, yes. You have to have something to offer.
Yeah.
And vetted. You can't have any of the red flags, and that's debatable.
We don't want any criminal stuff.
You don't want criminal stuff.
Yeah.
And then while you're here, you have certain points that you have to reach if you want to become a citizen or if you want to keep your green card. And it's a probation, because if you get in trouble here, you're gone.
Do you believe that assimilation is essential?
It's vital. It
Okay.
has to be.
Okay.
When the Italians came here, the Irish came here, the Germans came here, whatever. They became Americans.
Yeah, and we need that now.
I've spent probably 4 years of my life total. I would say, add it all up, 3-4 years of my life in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Islam as a religion, not bashing anybody's religion, but it doesn't lend itself to assimilation. And you're seeing that. If you go to Dearborn, Michigan, which I have, it might as well be a Middle Eastern country with snow.
Wow. I haven't been to Dearborn. I haven't had an opportunity to go.
It's the highest concentration of Middle Eastern people
Muslims,
in the world.
right?
Which, people are people, but
yeah,
and they deserve respect and everything.
Yeah.
And they can follow their religion,
but if
they
people are
have
going
to
to come
become
here,
an American.
they need to assimilate.
Yes, they need to assimilate.
Yeah, we don't need to go by the rules that they left in this country, basically. So healthcare is another concern, especially right now. What role should Congress play in making healthcare more affordable and accessible?
First thing they need to do is, as far as regular health care, not Medicaid or Medicare, but regular health care, when Congress got involved in
that's when it got messy.
It got messed up. Personally, I was working for a company out of Channelview, and for me, my wife, and 2 kids, it was $358 a month with a $1,500 deductible. I forget the year, but 2000 and 2000 something. I can't remember. But anyway, when it first came in, and when Obamacare got passed,
it doubled and tripled.
It went from $358 a month to $378 a week with a $15,000 deductible.
It's a broken system.
They said, "Look at all the people we covered." Yeah, but I had to drop mine because I couldn't afford it. How many people lost theirs?
Right.
The government doesn't have a big role in it. It needs to be competition based.
Yes, make the insurance companies compete against each other.
And we need to stop allowing so many mergers between insurance companies because it monopolizes.
Because then it's all owned by the same.
And
Yeah, I see that.
they can't run the VA system. How are they going to run the total health care system?
Yeah.
And that's 1% of the population.
So do you believe that Congress should take steps to also support small businesses? They do that through the SBA, but to encourage economic growth
Yes.
in local communities?
Yes.
Through grants or what?
Either or. I'm not a big fan because I've never received a grant. Okay.
The cities benefit from grants greatly.
Well, that
Yeah.
would be a different category.
Yeah.
But just people, let's say individual people,
Yeah.
less regulation would help.
Yeah.
More access to maybe government funded loans
Yeah.
and less strict qualifications. Not just letting everybody do it, but taking out the red tape. You take out the red tape, you can do a lot of different things. As far as municipalities and things like that, yes, grants still need to exist for that because there's some big projects that City of Cleveland, City of Dayton, the City of Liberty, they can't afford
Yeah.
that. But that's when the federal government is supposed to step in to help its citizens.
How do you feel about President Trump's actions in activating the National Guard to help bring crime under control in big cities?
Well, as I've driven a truck, I've been to Memphis.
Yeah.
I was in Memphis a week and a half ago.
I was there a few years ago and it wasn't safe then.
Oh, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. You cannot walk down the street. I had to put my truck in the shop for a night at the Penske place because they do all the maintenance. I put it, and I chose a very
Reputable?
upper class hotel just so I wouldn't be bothered.
Yeah.
I was outside, and I got propositioned 3 times for prostitution and twice for drugs
Oh, gosh.
at a
Nice hotel.
$175 a night hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's just a lot of crime in that area. But that may be a sign of also economic struggles.
It is. It really is. I mean, a lot of these jobs that they say been created. Well,
Not enough to survive.
we don't need any more McDonald's jobs.
Right.
We need manufacturing. The last time tariffs were
Well,
taken
Bucky's jobs pay pretty well, though.
Well, yeah. That's my wife's business, so I wish they'd
They
build
pay
one
really
close.
well. Yeah.
But anyway, they have when they took tariffs off steel,
Yeah.
for example,
Yeah.
Japan and China brought their steel in here for half price then and shut down every steel maker in America. That's not only an economic issue, that's a national security issue.
Yeah, and is the quality of steel as good? Is the quality of steel
No,
as good?
at that time it wasn't.
Yeah,
And
it may be better.
Still
Yeah,
is.
not as good. Nothing's ever going to be as good as U.S. made anything.
No.
You're just not going to
It's
find
not.
it. So, what standards of ethics and transparency do you believe members of Congress should be held to?
Well, I've always been an ethical person. I will tell people I'll tell you a fish story, but I won't lie to you.
Yeah.
Yes, that fish was that big. Yeah, but anyway, no, you're in a high profile and important job, so you have to have a high ethical standard and transparency. I don't know any other way to be. My friends know everything about me.
Feel like you're an open book?
I'm an open book. So
Okay. So how would you handle situations where campaign donors or party leadership disagree with what you believe is best for your district?
Well, going in, I wish I had a campaign donor, but
Yeah, but if you're in long enough, it seems to happen. You get them.
yes, it does. I can't in good conscience accept anything that's going to be totally against my beliefs. I can't do it. I never could.
You would
do
turn
it.
that away.
Yeah, I would turn that away.
Okay. So what personal experiences have most shaped your political beliefs?
My political, basically growing up and seeing the ups and downs of different administrations and things. I grew up my grandfather was a Democrat diehard. Okay?
Everybody was back then.
He thought FDR brought him out of the Great Depression, which
Well, FDR did a lot, though, with the
he
CCC.
did. World War II
Yeah.
brought us out of the Great Depression, but
A lot of people worked at those, what were the
and
CCC
he did
camps.
until Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
And he looked at me one day and he said, "Boy, I think I voted myself plumb out of a job."
My mother said Jimmy Carter was too nice to be president. He was a nice man, but he was a terrible president.
Look, the stuff he did after as president with the
Remarkable
building the house, great. And I have no doubt that he was a very true.
And he's in heaven
Yes,
undoubtedly.
He is. As far as president, oh man, he had terrible ideas and terrible policies.
Yeah.
And he didn't do that alone.
I remember sitting in the gas lines.
Yeah,
you remember that?
Yes.
You had to
Odd
go
and
on
even days.
Odd and even days, whatever
Yeah.
your license plate was. Kids nowadays won't even remember anything about that, or they may not have been told about it. But there was a gas crisis, and if you had an odd number, you had to go to the gas station on that day. If you had an even number, you went on the next day, and you couldn't get gas
We
any
had to
other
go
time.
every day because my grandmother's was even and my grandpa's was
Oh,
odd. Yeah.
yeah. Well, that was convenient because you never were really. You were always able to get gas to get wherever you needed to go, I suppose.
Yeah.
So, what has been the hardest part of running for Congress?
Just in my case, it's been getting the message out there that I'm running and getting in front of people. Everybody I've gotten in front of, surprisingly to me, that I've talked to, nobody's told me no.
Really?
I have not had a single person I've talked to.
You've talked to how many? 5 or 10 or how?
No.
I'm kidding. Yeah,
I've talked to a lot.
A lot, and they're all supportive.
Yes, I would
That's nice
expect
to hear, though.
to get run off somebody's porch first, and I haven't had any.
Is that how you're spending all your free time, going around and visiting people and just knocking on doors?
Every time I get, and I haven't done a lot of door knocking yet.
Yeah, you're just not getting into it.
I've got a lot of the door hangers
Oh,
that
yeah.
I've got printed up
Yeah.
that will come in this week, and I'm going to do a lot of door
Yeah.
hanging and stuff.
After the
like that.
holidays are over, people can start
Yes,
thinking about the
yeah.
elections. So, what keeps you grounded outside of politics?
Life, just trying to pay the bills, trying to get trying to move forward.
Yeah.
And at least for me, and I wish I was one of these people that didn't have to worry about bills, didn't have to worry about money.
Yeah.
That's not been my case.
What would you say is your best strength?
I don't get rattled too easy.
Oh, that's good.
And I can look at a situation. I'm very good with people, so that would help in Congress as far as talking to get people to co-sponsor bills and things, and so I feel those are two. I can talk to somebody. Doesn't matter if I fully agree with them or not. I can convince them to think my way.
What would you say is your weak point? That's always interesting to see what someone says is their weak point.
My weak point is I can't be, what's the word, empathetic, as far as...
empathetic?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can be sympathetic, empathetic,
Yeah.
Yes, I feel for people that
That are struggling or
that
having
are
problems.
struggling
Yeah.
in that. But all of our social programs have been built on a temporary basis. Mm-hmm. Okay, they're meant to give a hand up, not a hand out.
Yeah.
And I believe that's the way it should be. Now, I have no problem with helping somebody, but I'm not going to carry them.
Do you have one initiative that you plan to do as soon as you get to... You have one thing that you said that's got to be fixed besides Social Security? Is there one thing that you're like, that's got to be done? That's got to be fixed?
Well, the budget, and maybe, like I said, the budget was a big thing for me because we can't continue in this spending pattern we've got. And because it restricts every other thing we try to do. It affects everything.
Yeah.
The other thing is just trying to fix the actual communication. You get to talking about a budget. Believe it or not, I have a pretty good knowledge of national security. I can tell you all the weapon systems Chinese have.
Yeah.
It's just
You've educated yourself on it.
I've educated myself on it, and
I'm a nerd for antiques.
yes, and China's trying to dominate the world economically.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's we have to fix our trade policies. We can't have a free trade like the NAFTA was. Okay, you can't have a free trade with somebody that their standard of living is so much different than yours.
Yeah.
If you have an idea where you're paying somebody $20 an hour here,
And they're lucky to get $20 a week.
Yes, down
Yeah.
there. As a business person, what are you
Yeah.
going to do? You're going to move your stuff, and
But you have to have the incentives to keep everything here, and the company should want the U.S. to do well. If they're
well, there for a while, our corporate tax rate was so high compared to other
they had
countries.
incentives to leave.
And that was another incentive to leave.
Yeah,
You
and then the regulation.
or they would flag their business in Brussels or something.
Yeah,
so
Mexico or something.
No, if it's a U.S. company, they need to pay their taxes here. Yes.
Right. So we wrap up every one of these headlines and heartlines with fun questions. They're called rapid fire round wrap up, and I just ask you a simple question. You can give me a short answer about. Okay, what's your favorite way to unwind after a long day?
TV.
What do you watch news programs? Yeah. You said you were a news
YouTube.
junkie. Oh,
I watch
YouTube,
a lot. Yeah.
I watch travel shows. It's my guilty pleasure. I love to watch travel shows. Morning routine or go with the flow?
Kind of routine in my upper years. The years I've been to. Coffee.
Coffee. You like coffee?
Coffee. Yes.
Phone calls or face-to-face conversations?
Face-to-face conversation.
Listening more or speaking more?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah. Depending on the situation. If they want information from you, it's speaking more. If they're giving you information, listen more.
Working behind the scenes or out front?
Behind the scenes.
City streets or back roads?
Back roads.
Aren't they the best?
Yes.
They're the best. Leading by example or delegating?
Leading by example.
Optimist or realist?
Optimist.
See, that's easy. That's a good one, though.
Yeah.
All right. That wraps up our interview. I want to thank you for being here.
Okay. Well,
I hope you enjoyed it.
Smart.
Oh, I think, yeah. Well, that's up to the listeners to decide. No, I think you did a good job. I'm getting around to everybody, interviewing them all, but I just want to thank you for joining me today for Headlines and Heartlines. It's been good getting to know you a little bit better, and hopefully the readers will have learned something from the interview. And for everybody out there listening, you be sure you check out the Bluebonnet News election page, because I will have all of these podcast interviews listed there so that you can go back and hear things from every single candidate. I'm going to get around to all the rest of them. They will find this interview on YouTube, on Spotify, and it will be broadcast on KILE FM radio in Cleveland in the coming weeks. So, but for the listeners, they'll see when it comes out. But thank you all for being here, and until next time.